All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're going to use a classic storybook video game adventure to help us completely master the most fundamental concepts of economics. So whether you're currently studying for your IGCSE Economics exams, or honestly, if you just want to understand the invisible forces that shape our entire world, you are absolutely in the right place. We are going to treat economics like a grand game of strategy where every single move and every single resource really counts. Before we jump into the action, here is our level guide for today's quest. We're going to start with the basic economic problem, see exactly how scarcity affects everyone, tackle the 3 big economic questions, and then finally face off against economic versus free goods. Okay, level 1, the basic economic problem. This is the core conflict that drives literally every single economic decision we make. So what is the economic problem? Well, it's essentially a massive mismatch where our unlimited wants totally exceed our finite limited resources. Think about playing a video game. No matter how many coins or cool items you collect, your desire for better gear or, more power-ups is always going to outpace what the game actually lets you have. And the exact same thing is true in real life. As humans, we have basic needs: food, clothing, shelter, the stuff we absolutely need to survive. But beyond those essentials, we have wants. And those wants, whether it's the newest smartphone, a huge house, or a really fast car, are pretty much infinite. This clash between the limited building blocks of our world and our endless wish lists is the absolute heart of the issue. On one side, we've got finite resources. Economists like to call these the factors of production. So your workers, your land, your enterprise, and the machinery used to make goods and services, and they are strictly limited in supply. But on the flip side, we have infinite wants. It's kind of funny, but as societies get richer, we literally just keep wanting more. Better healthcare, upgraded transport, the absolute latest fashion. The list just never ends. Because of this dramatic mismatch, we run headfirst into scarcity. That just means we simply cannot satisfy everyone's wants. There is literally not enough to go around, and that forces us to make some really tough choices. In fact, economics at its very core is the study of this exact scarcity and how it forces us to allocate our resources. Moving right along to level 2, scarcity for everyone. Because scarcity doesn't just affect one player, it affects every single character in the game. What's truly fascinating here is how all 4 main players, or economic agents as we call them, are actively battling scarcity in their own unique ways. We've got consumers, workers, producers, and governments. And guess what? None of them have a cheat code. Every single one of them is totally bound by limited resources. Let's look a bit closer at the first 2. For us consumers, scarcity usually pops up as limited income. You just can't buy every single item in the shop because, well, you have limited coins. If you splurge on a new video game, you might not have enough cash left over for a movie ticket this weekend. Now, for workers, the scarcity is all about time and energy. A teacher might really want to grade papers all evening, or maybe work a second job as a writer, but they just can't do both at the same time because time is strictly limited to 24 hours a day. And this exact same logic applies to producers and governments too. Producers have to pick one crop for their limited plot of land. A farmer simply cannot grow rice and wheat on the exact same patch of dirt at the exact same time. Land is scarce. Meanwhile, think about governments. They only have a finite amount of tax revenue to play with. If they choose to dump public funds into a massive state-of-the-art hospital, that might mean they simply don't have the budget left to build a new school. They very, very rarely get to do both. So every single time any of these groups make a choice with their scarce resources, they are forced to give up the next best alternative. Economists have a special term for this: opportunity cost. Whether it's a family deciding exactly how to spend their monthly income, or a food stall owner choosing between buying a shiny new grill or opening a second stall across town, picking one path always means sacrificing the other. Which perfectly sets us up for level 3, the 3 big economic questions. This is where we look at the mechanics of how our society actually solves this persistent problem. So since we know we can't have everything, how does an economy actually go about deciding how to allocate its precious, limited resources? We have to figure out a system to distribute what little we actually have. To manage our limited inventory of resources, every economic system out there, whether it's a completely free market economy, a strictly planned economy, or something mixed in between, must establish the core rules of the game. And they do this by answering 3 fundamental sequential questions: what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. First up, we must answer what to produce. This means sitting down and deciding our priorities, choosing exactly which goods and services our society needs the most right now. Because our resources are limited, producing more of one thing automatically means producing less of another. Do we devote our scarce workers and materials to improving healthcare, or building up national defense, or maybe creating more leisure goods so people can relax? Next, we have to figure out the best method to actually create those goods with the question, how to produce. This is all about finding a balance. Do we use labor-intensive methods, meaning we hire a ton of human workers to get the job done? Or do we pivot to capital-intensive methods, where we rely heavily on advanced machinery and automation? The ultimate goal here is to use our resources as efficiently as possible based on what we actually have available. Finally, we reach the last question: for whom to produce? This tackles the actual distribution of the final goods. Once the items are made, who gets to take them home? Is the product given out to everyone who needs it, freely available to all citizens? Or is it distributed only to those who have the ability to afford a higher price in the open market? And now we've reached the boss level, level 4, economic versus free goods. It's time to clear up a major misconception about what things really cost. Here's the truth. Almost everything we desire in life is an economic good that requires scarce resources. True free goods are actually incredibly rare. Economic goods require limited inputs, they always carry an opportunity cost, and yes, they usually have a price. Free goods, on the other hand, are totally abundant, they do not deplete our resources, and they do not command a price. Now, the defining trait here isn't just whether you, as the consumer, hand over physical cash at a register. It's really about whether it required limited resources, like human labor, materials, or heavy machinery, to create it in the first place. An economic good is supplied to make a profit because it's scarce. A free good, it's just naturally abundantly there. A perfect real-world example of a true free good is water flowing naturally in a beautiful river. It requires absolutely zero resources, human labor, or equipment to simply exist right there in nature. Sunlight, or the air we breathe, those are other classic examples. They are so incredibly abundant that you consuming them doesn't stop someone else from doing the exact same thing. But wait, here is the trap that catches so many people out. The very second someone uses pipes or filters or human labor to process that river water and bring it safely into your kitchen sink or pump it out into a field for irrigation, boom, it instantly transforms into an economic good. Why? Because the resources used to pipe that water could have been used somewhere else, meaning there is now an opportunity cost involved. So even if your government provides you with quote-unquote free medicines or free public education, in the strict economic sense, those are still economic goods. Teachers, doctors, and physical facilities were absolutely required to provide them. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to take a look around your own world right now and ask yourself, since pretty much everything around you is an economic good with a hidden opportunity cost, how are you going to choose to manage your own scarcity today? What will you choose to prioritize? And honestly, more importantly, what are you actively willing to give up to get it? Keep that in mind as you navigate your own economic adventures today.